And good afternoon, 16-bit Elite Dangerous, Elite Frontiery type commanders. He says, very well rehearsed piece of intro there. Anyway, we are back. We're episode 2. Thank you for those of you who survived my first retro stream in a while last week, and now we're back for part 2. And see how far we can get. This is the ongoing playthrough, of course, of Frontier Elite 2, the second game in the Elite Dangerous franchise. Well, the Elite franchise, should I say. Elite Dangerous is, of course, the fourth one and new. But this is the second game. So if you want to check my YouTube stream, YouTube channel rather, get the right terminology. My YouTube channel for the Elite, the first game playthrough that we did a few weeks back. Then you can follow all that through. If you need to get the entire nostalgia trip right from the 8-bit days back in 1984, then that's available on YouTube. You can go back and enjoy that at your leisure. So that's all good. But this is the second game. This is the second game in the Elite Dangerous, in the Elite franchise, Frontier Elite 2, written and published in 1993. So a long time ago. Thank you for the follow, by the way. I really appreciate that. And we are going back to 1993 and enjoying a retro playthrough of this game. Now, I do not know this game so well, so it's going to be interesting to see if I can explore some of its intricacies and depths. I have played it and I am familiar with it, but not nearly so much as the original game, because I had got my first job at the point this game came out, and so I was working. That time for playing games, that was there we are. I was 23. Just so you know, I was 23 when this game came out. So this is more than half my lifetime ago. For some of you on the stream, I'm sure 1993 is like minus something. So there we go. Winnie says, "Is this game older than your Golf Mark II?" No, not quite. My Mark II Golf GTI is 1988. Sorry, yeah. So this is 5 years newer than my Golf GTI. I'll be doing some videos on the Golf in the spring, actually, when the weather comes back. So watch out for that. But no, the Golf is even older than this. So that happily precedes this game. It doesn't precede the original Elite. So my Golf GTI, for those of you who don't know, I do like a few classic cars as well. So I've got an MX-5. Oddly enough, actually thinking about it, the MX-5 that I have, or the Miata for you guys in America, that is 1993. I've just realised that. So that car, my little green convertible car, is exactly the same age as this game. I hadn't even thought about that before. So that's really weird. So anyway, welcome to those of you who are new to the stream. This is a retro stream, so we always do a bit of retro stuff on Saturday afternoons, and we'll be playing Frontier Elite 2. Now, something I spotted in the week, which I'm ashamed, I'm sure some of you have spotted this before, but I don't think anybody mentioned it last week. From the Frontier manual, okay, something occurred to me reading through the documentation for the nth time. All right. The address that we moved out now because we've got our ship, okay, so we're now somewhere else. But the address we were at as the game started, okay, here's the manual again. Where's the camera? There we go. There's the address. If it will focus, there we go. J. Jameson Jr., 51A, South Dormitory, Fish Processing Plant 3142. It occurred to me, Fish Processing Plant 3142. Now 3142, or if we put a dot in there, 3.142, is of course pi to 3 significant decimal places. So I think there's a little in-joke there, which is fish processing plant pie. So actually, we live in the fish pie processing plant. No, I'm assuming that's another in-joke in the manual. And I'm ashamed. I don't know if any of you guys have spotted it before, but I'm pretty sure I've not seen that before. It suddenly occurred to me, hang on, 3142. So, if that is the case, that is a masterful piece of manual writing, right? And I haven't spotted it for 27 years. To which I'm sort of amused and ashamed. I don't know quite what I'm not quite sure what I'm feeling. So it's whoever, hands up to who wrote this manual, because I hadn't spotted that before, and I was literally thumbing through it, and then we go, hang on a minute. So the manual has lots of little things like that in it that it's worth reading, and it is classic 90s humour for computer games. But there we go. So I spotted that in the week. I thought that would amuse you. I wonder if that plant is still available. Well, actually, I haven't. Has anybody tried going to the start location of Frontier Elite 2 in Elite Dangerous? I might try and do that. I'm assuming it exists. In fact, I'm pretty sure David Braben would have assured it was in there. So anyway, it's the Ross 154 system. Is it in Elite Dangerous? I assume it must be, because it's a real start system, isn't it? Ross 154. So I'm guessing it is there. So maybe we. I don't know if the planetary landings will work on that moon. It's not landable. There we go. So it is there, but it's not landable yet. So maybe with Odyssey, maybe we can go back to Merlin. What's the port? Merlin. Merlin's the moon, isn't it? Whatever the port was called, and have a look around if there's some fish. And Merlin looks different. Oh, Merlin's a gastron. Merlin looks different. No rings. What's happened to the rings? That's not right. Oh well, never mind. Anyway, hello and welcome. Let's go on with playing the game, right? Shall we? Full screen focus. There we go. Right. So this is not the right view. There we go. This is the right view. So this is where we were. Now we were. I can't remember where we were actually. So it's the 23rd of January, 3200. So it's taken us 23 days to get this far. Not in reality. That's actually 2 hours of play. Oh, Asta, that's right. So Asta's the gas giant, but it doesn't have any rings. That's weird. Yeah, weird. Anyway, there we go. They went to the same place that Phobos, Deimos, and Ceres went. Yeah, that hasn't been answered either. I'm gonna have to have another go at Frontier about all these things, inconsistencies in the actual simulation of the galaxy. It's just not acceptable, is it? It really is poor show. I'm gonna have to fix that. Right, so we're at Barnard Star. Okay, so that's where we are. Now what we were doing is we were shuttling across and back to Sol, trying to build up a bit of cash. Now I was thinking during the week, what should my objective be for this game? And I think what we've got to try and do, there aren't any missions to unlock per se in this game that I'm aware of, unless anybody can tell me otherwise. So I think we've got to sort of set our own goals. Now I could say to become elite, but that'll take an extremely long time and probably get rather boring. So what I'd like to do is, you probably remember the ship from the intro sequence, okay, the twin engine nacelle thing. Now that is the Imperial Courier in Frontier Elite 2, which is not the same as the Imperial Courier in Elite Dangerous, okay. In Elite Dangerous, the Imperial Courier is quite a small, dinky little sort of fighter ship. In Frontier Elite 2, the Imperial Courier is a big, chunky vessel. So there are some military missions, but you have to get quite a long way up the tree. So we'll sort of see how that goes. So that's interesting. So sorry, I'm not going to go too much about the Imperial Courier. The Imperial Courier in this game was, as you saw in the intro sequence, quite an awesome looking ship. It has twin engine nacelles with spinny bits on it. The ED ship is more like the Clipper, yeah, so the Clipper kind of fills the space. But the Clipper in Elite Dangerous is a bit sort of soft and nice, okay? It's a nice looking ship, I like it, but, it's got a soft nose and it's smooth and it's gorgeous and it's organic and all that sort of stuff. Whereas the Imperial Courier in this I always likened it to a BMW M5 that came up behind you on the motorway, flashing its headlights and demanding you get out of the way. That's the sort of impression the Imperial Courier gave in this game. It's a big, powerful ship, and if you meet one as a pirate, because it's quite popular with pirates in this game, as I recall, then you didn't generally die. So it's a big, fearsome ship, and the coolest things about it are that it can fold its engine nacelles away and they stop spinning and then they extend out and all sorts of cool stuff happens. Very cool ship. Now I fancy having one, okay? Genuinely in the game, because I don't think I've ever played this long enough to get one, so I've kind of admired it from afar. So I think one of my objectives is to get an Imperial Courier in this game, so that will satisfy me, and we'll see how far we can get. Now that probably means us travelling down into Imperial space where they're for sale, and doing some kind of Imperial missions and stuff, so we'll have to see how that goes. And then what I would also like to do is wander through the sort of different types of missions that we have on the bulletin board and see if we can do some of them. So at the moment we're lowly ranked and we've got a rubbish little ship. We've literally just started out. So we're not going to get any good stuff. But there is money to be made. So as you can see here, actually there's one here that might be quite interesting for us. Look, it says ship required payment of 900 credits for passage on the ship for a group to the Ross 154 system. So it might be worth just working out how much of a group that is. And this I think is again quite a nice. We'll need cupboards. Yeah, I'll look at that. This is quite a nice thing about this UI. So I don't think, in my head, Elite Dangerous is even still quite caught up with this yet. So when I ask about this mission, so I click on it, I can ask a whole stack load of questions to the person who's requesting the mission. So, okay, let's go. How many of you are there? Makes it sensible. And I've got a little bit of interaction, which I think is good for the the kind of immersiveness of the game. I hate that, we've got to be careful with the word immersion nowadays because it's kind of been overused. But so do I need a permit, and if so, can I have one? No, I know the answer is no to this, but it tells me don't be silly. You don't need a permit. But I can negotiate. Look, I want more money. I want half the money now. The sort of things that you do in a kind of backwater. Okay, okay, give me half the money in advance. We'll see what we can do. How many? The question we need to know at this point is basically how many of you are there? Okay, so there are 5 of us. So I don't know how many passenger cabins do I need. Do I need 5 passenger cabins? I'm going to hang up for the moment. Say. I don't think I've got enough room on my ship because I'm assuming I've got cargo space is currently used. So what am I carrying at the moment? I've got computers. Okay, so we can't do this because we were loaded up for the next job. Okay. So I just rang up on the phone. Sorry. Well, she called me silly, so that's just rude as well. So she deserved it. So Odyssey may bring something like this. We'll have to wait and see. But I think that's given this is a 1993 game, it's got some sophistication. Some sophistication in the fact that you can feel like you're having a conversation with the person at the other end. So anyway, it looks like we were set up to go back to Seoul with our computers. So so we're in Barnard Star. And our computer's cheap here. I'm just trying to remember which way around we were doing. Am I supposed to sell computers here or buy them and take them to Seoul? I can't remember which way around it was. Let's have a look. Now, somebody did tell me off last week, quite rightly, there is a set of buttons somewhere here. There we go. No, which tell me a bit more about the chart. Something about the system itself. I don't know quite how I can get to them now. Let me just click through these options. It's not those ones. So there is something here that tells me. There we go. Right. Okay. So stable. This is where we currently are. But I can ask about the economy. So there we go. It tells us. Can take computers to Seoul. Okay, brilliant. And then food and luxuries back to Barnes. Okay, so this is useful. So we are here in Barnes. So it's telling me here major imports of grain, minor major exports are computers. So computers should be cheap here. That's good. And then it also tells us a little bit about the government type as well. So we can interrogate the system a little bit to find out what we should be doing. So this is good. That means computers are cheap here, and what they really want is fruit, veg, animal meat and minerals. Luxury goods are not quite so good. So fruit and veg is what we kind of need to bear in mind. Let's go back to Seoul. It is worth doing is having a look through the bulletin board, seeing if anything else is going in that direction. So again, here, look, wanted fruit and veg. So that's something to bear in mind for when we come back, because there might be something in the bulletin board for us. Right, so ship required, we know about that. Wanted fruit and veg again, that's good. This group is going to the Fomalhaut system. We're not going that way at the moment. Reward for useful information from somebody in Van Man star system. That needs a permit. Leighton system, Bandman's goods bought and sold. Now again, I mentioned this last week, this is the black market, but it's not called the black market. So in Elite Dangerous there's actually a black market button, which strikes me as very strange. Whereas this is just sort of, well, we're kind of unofficial import export business. You know what I mean? We're just we're an alternative to the main main stock market. We're not black market. No, we don't use those sort of words around here. So at Haynes and Son Inc. highest prices paid for items interesting or otherwise. So it's much more subtle, which I like. I think that's really good. Vacancy required as a crew member, and that's all it is. So there's nothing going to Sol, so never mind. Right, so okay, and Frontiers haggling is influenced by a player's hidden rep level. So our rep level will obviously presumably be really bad at the moment because we've only just started out. So let's get to Sol. Let's do the launch request, and off we go. I'll speed this up a bit because you've all seen this now. There we go. We're in space. Right, so undercarriage up. Look at that undercarriage is just so amazingly huge for the size of the ship. So anyway, we're out in space. Let's just turn around and hope the space station is behind us. It is. Right, hyperspace. And again, it's now 5 days it took us to go through hyperspace. It's now the 28th of Jan. I need to lock onto our port. Now, I remember I've taken the atmospheric shielding off the ship at the moment, so I can't go to the planet services right now. Basically, the trick at the moment is we need to build up some cash. It's classic stuff, early on in the Elite games. Is it's working good. So there's the Earth, and the Earth is actually, I mean, for a 16-bit game, the Earth is done. It's recognisably the Earth. It's not bad. You can see Australia and the Americas and Africa. Sort of a little bit of Europe. The UK there is about 8 pixels, but it's still there. So let's go to Gorbachev, because that's we went to the Abraham Lincoln last time, so it's only fair that we go to the different places. I don't think there's any difference between the space stations here. So I need to set the autopilot. There we go, and target is set. So let's switch the engines on to auto. There's much less flying in this game than there is in the first Elite. Who was Ling Kui Yao? Now I did look this up and I've forgotten. So somewhere I've got some notes on Ling Kui Yao. Yes, I will look that up. Somebody might be able to find them on Wikipedia or something. But it's not a name that I recall very much from history. So interesting enough as to why it was chosen. So the autopilot and the Star Dreamer here bringing us in. Some strange noises going on in the background. I don't know what that was. Right, and there we go. We're docked. And it's it's a great huge big space station. So I'm not going to trust the auto docking. We'll get a time streamer in as well. So notice a lot of the time in this game you miss stuff kind of because you're using the time the Star Dreamer to shift shift things around. Now I still don't know who Len was. Len. Whoever Len is seems to be in a lot of the advertising for the Frontier inside the space stations. Right, so let's just quickly check the bulletin board in case anybody will give us a stack load of money for our computers. So small package, no. Pam Yamaha last seen. See, look, robots. If we'd brought robots, would have been in, but we didn't. So never mind. Brought and sold for 11,000. We wish to stop somebody. Unemployed. Goods bought and sold again. Wanted. Look. Wanted computers will pay 1,042 credits per ton. Always check the bulletin board, all right? So I think we'll do that. So sell 1 ton of computers. Well, we've got 5 tons. Would you like 5 tons? So yes, actually. So we'll sell all of our tons to this lady. And we've made 5,000 credits. Nice. Let's just check how much Let's make sure we weren't undercut on the market. I don't think we were. Let's just have a look at the actual stock market for computers, and only 512. So we made a lot of money on that run. That was very, very good. So that's excellent. So what I do need to do, if you recall, I need to buy. Always save it. I'll save in a moment. Yep, I will save. I need to buy some hydrogen fuel. And it was actually fruit and veg that was best, wasn't it? So let's stock up on fruit and veg for the return. There we go. The ship is full of fruit and veg. Sold some risky processors. They're very good, Winnie. Although, of course, this is running on a emulated 486, which, of course, wasn't a RISC processor. I don't think the 68000 RISC, was it? The Acorn Archimedes was a RISC processor, as I recall. So anyway, so there we go. This is one of the few guys who doesn't have a hat, actually, in this game. So right, so the cargo hold is full. Time for us to go back. But before we do, we will save. So we'll save to there. There we go. Stream 4, rock and rolling. Okay. No, x86 is CISC. I remember CISC versus RISC at university, and RISC was supposed to be this all new cool thing, which everyone thought was awesome, and then never really happened. Well, at least not in mainstream, as far as I remember. Right, so we've got to go back to Barnard Star. So, but we've made a bit of a, made some headway there, which is good, because of checking the bulletin board. So again, launch request, back we go. Let's speed up. And there's one of those hyperspace exit points again, which we can actually fly through. It doesn't do any harm to us. Now you'll notice actually, just while I'm here, there are some other blips. So if I just rotate the ship round, and let's keep the engines off actually, because we don't really need to be going there. There we go. You'll notice that here are some other vessels. There are a few big ships parked in close proximity to the space station. There's one down there, and it looks like, oh, that's the actual hyperspace place. So what I'll do is let's just go and have a look, because these ships, I don't think they do anything unless anybody tells me otherwise, but you can just sort of fly through space. Not going to go too fast, because otherwise we'll crash, because you know what happens in this game. But these are sort of, I think this is a Lynx bulk carrier from what I recall, which is a sort of, just a massive ship for, bulk cargo delivery and stuff. But I think it's quite nice that it's sort of sitting out here near the space station, presumably, being loaded up or unloaded by smaller vessels, because a ship of this size can't dock with the space station. So let's just, there we go. So I'm going to just slow down now as we're going past it. Let's slow right down. There we go. Now it seems to. Let's go for the external view, and we can have a good look at it then, can't we? I've still got the undercarriage down. Let's do that. Where is it? So it should be off the starboard bow. So there it is. And it seems to have the front of a ship that's actually in the game. So this front section is very much like the Panther Clipper. And then it's got these sort of storage pods around the back. So let's just, if I just move forward a little bit, there we go. You can kind of see it. It's sort of got a bridge and a big gunny pointy thing on the front, and then there's a sort of drive section at the back. And assume those things on the side there basically are, sort of cargo bays. They aren't always there. I don't know. Maybe when we come back again, they'll have moved on. So they sort of spawn and then despawn. They don't do anything here. You can shoot at them, I think, if you're brave. But then I think the police come out and try and kill you. You can also there see in the background the space station. It's an odd design, this space station. It's sort of got these huge big pods that sort of rotate around a common centre of gravity. It's quite ambitious design. It's quite hard to sort of make out on such a low resolution. Is there some warning text on the pods? I couldn't see that. Maybe it's not rendering because I'm not close enough. Oh, there is something there. Okay. Right, I'm just gonna fly away then, and let's just we'll turn around and see if we can read the text, just because, well, why not, right? So let's turn our ship around. There it is there. Ugh. See, I still can't get used to this mouse movement. It feels very unintuitive to me. I'm going to have to be careful. I don't want to get too close because I don't know how good the collision detection is. There is some text there. What does it say? Does it say anything? Or is that just some lines? No, it definitely says something. There we go. It says max something only disconnect in dry dock. I think that's what it says. So there's lots of little attentions to detail like that. Max, oh there we go, max laden weight 1,000 tons. So I assume that's what that means. 1,000 tons only disconnect in dry dock. So there you go. Which is, I think, yeah, it's again impressive for a game of this age that it's got little bits of attention to detail like that. So clever. There we go. Anyway, so right, let's hyperspace back. Let's keep cracking on with our mission. Boom. So we're just going to leave a massive hyperspace bubble. So somebody's already mentioned, when you hyperspace, you leave a yellow, an orangey blobby thing where you left, and you create a blue blobby thing when you arrive. So there we go. And now the ship is just bringing itself to halt with its retro thrusters. So we need to go here. We need to go to Barnard Star, which is Birmingham World. Why would you name an entire planet Birmingham World? That makes me chuckle every time I see it. Boston Base is where we're going, because we can't land on the planets at the moment. Although we probably could. Actually, tell you what, we can land on Birmingham World itself. Because I think there's a base down there. Yeah, we can go to Anderson Depot. So let's go to the surface. This one's okay because it doesn't have an atmosphere, so we can land on the surface of this one. So let's go to Anderson Depot this time, just because we can. And boom. So glad that Hoover's not there in ED. Oh, Jura says, I love this game as a kid. Had it on a Commodore A1200. Interesting to see the PC one with textures and stuff. So yeah, so the PC version has got a little bit more stuff in it. I don't think the gameplay is any different. Here we come in, and now we are landing. Okay, so this we'll watch this because we can. And this is us landing on the base. Now again, this is a base that's similar to the one that we saw on where we started, but this one, as you can see, has got some sort of more industrial flavours to it. It's got different bases. There's a massive dish there. There's a sort of factory complex over there. There's another one of those hydroponic things there, and a mountain and some textures, some features. It does feel like a place. It's obviously very 8-bit. There's a massive tent over here. I don't know what goes on in there. That's enormous, isn't it? If you look down, you can see what we're landing on. It's a sort of airlocky thing, and all the depots, as you can see, have their name mentioned, inscribed on the ground in big letters. And for some reason, yes, they're venting flames out of the chimneys here. I don't quite know why they're doing that. Because that's just a total waste of oxygen in an airless environment. But what will happen here is, as we go down, this is a sort of airlock complex. And we will descend into it, and this is all under automatic control. You can see we're thrusting down. So this is again quite a hard thing to do manually. So again, the autopilot. So you basically end up in here, and you can see again some writing on the inside here. Pressure suits must be worn at all times. So we are in a vacuum at the moment. There we go, landing. You actually go slightly below the surface of the. I think the clipping, as you can see on some of the artifacts, isn't quite working right. But it's not bad. Right, here we go. We're landing. Boom. There we go. Boom. And then what happens is if we zoom out, I think it's zoom out. Let's zoom out. Oh, it's going to a cutscene. There we go. It's kind of a cutscene. Anyway, again, you got plopped into a hangar again. And you can see, but you saw that. I don't know if you saw it quickly, as there's like a concertina thing, a sort of iris that closes above you. On the ground, then it's kind of just reusing the space station effects that we saw before, and charging us 3 credits for the privilege. as you can see. So anyway, let's go to the stock market. Does anybody want, not the stock market, let's go to the bulletin board. Does anybody want fruit and veg? Please, come on, let's give us a good. So actually, look, the passage for 1,000 for a small group to the Wolf 359 system. Federal military wants us for Adventures Unlimited. Useful information on somebody. Grant Carter, payment of needs job to feed disabled spouse and starving family. Trying to tug at the heartstrings then. And useful information. Feeling generous? No, not yet. Looking for Sally Andrews. So no, there's nothing particular in the nothing particular that we can take advantage of there, which is a bit of a shame. So anyway, so that case, we'll go back to the bulletin board, not the bulletin board, the stock market. There's our animal meat we sell. You know, it's classic elite stuff, right? Let's go back to that bulletin board, because I don't think let's go back up. 1,000 credits isn't bad for us at this point in time. Where was that? There we are. 1,000 credits for passage for a small group to the Wolf 359 system. Let's find out how many of you are there. There were 4 of us, so we could do that mission. Okay, so I'm just going to hang up for a moment. There isn't a what there should be, actually, for politeness. Given this is a British game, there should be awfully sorry. I'll get back. I just need to make a few checks and I'll get back to you. There isn't an option to say that. So the only option you actually have is hang up, which seems a bit rude. Well, actually, really, no, there is an option like that. There we go. Hold on while I make room and then hang up. Okay, so I'm going to press that button. I don't think it makes any difference, but there we go. Right, it takes us back there. And she did have some lovely white lipstick. So let's just have a look. How much does a passenger cabin actually cost? Extra passenger cabin. Okay, so it's really expensive for us at the moment. It would cost us £6,000. Yeah, 6,000 credits, not pounds. 6,000 credits to do that. So passenger missions are a little bit out of our league at the moment, because we can't. And also, look at the extra passenger cabin is 5 tons. So our ship is nowhere near big enough to do these passenger runs at the moment. So we can't do that. Okay, so we're going to have to just make a bit more money. Now we should be looking around. Actually, let's look at the shipyard just while we're here. What do we want? Now, there is a Cobra Mark 1, okay, not a Cobra Mark 3, note, a Cobra Mark 1, available for 97,000 credits, okay. There is an Adder available for 73,000 credits, and notice it's part exchange value, so I think I'm right in saying I only need to make the difference between those two figures in order to actually buy it. But I do need to keep a certain amount of cash in hand, otherwise I've got no working capital to do anything with. So that's a problem. But these ships are considerably bigger than the Eagle. So those are probably the next ships that we should be aiming for, something like a Cobra Mark 1. There is a Cobra Mark 3 available for 124,000. But notice it takes us quite a long time to make money, even though I'm chattering away and all that kind of good stuff. But so let's have a quick look at the Adder. So that gives us... we need to put a class 2 hyperdrive in it to get anywhere. We're not worried about gun mountings and things like that. Internal capacity no drive is 40 tons. Mass fully laden is 55. So it'll give us a bit more space, but not a vast amount. The Cobra Mark 3 is probably far better. Okay, so this is a bigger ship. This is the predecessor to the Mark III, of course, which doesn't appear in Elite Dangerous, but it did exist at this point in time. Yeah, this game didn't have any rebuy, but you did have save games, so you can go back to the previous time you saved. So one of those is probably the sort of thing that we're going for. It'd be lovely. We will buy a Cobra Mark III, because there's one there, which is the quintessential elite ship, regardless of whichever game you're playing. You can see it's rendered in the same way. It also has a sort of interesting tricycle undercarriage here with wheels on it. All the ships in Elite Dangerous seem to have wheels, in Frontier rather, seem to have wheels on the bottom, for reasons that aren't obviously clear, because you can't land with any forward velocity. So why you would need wheels, I don't really know. But they all have wheels on the bottom. So that's a bit strange. There is an interplanetary shuttle, which actually would give us some cash back. But the only problem with an interplanetary shuttle is that you can't put a hyperdrive on it. So you can't do any trading. So it's not a great deal of use. I don't know why some of these ships are even available in the game. Actually, I mean, there's this one, the interplanetary shuttle, and there's a curious ship called the Lifter, which if it appears, I will show it to you. And they're pointless because you can't go anywhere. You can only go in the system. And there's no trade variations in price, I don't think, between space stations. So other than going up and down to somewhere just because you might want to, they're pointless. I think they're in there to sort of, again, give you the sense that there might be some people who reuse them. But I don't know, I never really found a use for those ships that can't actually mount a hyperdrive. But there we go. Oh, it's a joke, it's the Galileo, is it? Okay, oh, I hadn't realised that, is it? It's a sort, yeah, it is a sort of Galileo shuttle, isn't it? There we go. Anyway, yes, it is. It's actually a very good point. It's the Enterprise shuttle, Star Trek. See, you learn something new every day. Yeah, the Mark I does have a cool paint job with a sort of military effect there. And when you're buying ships, you can shop around because different ships come with different paint jobs. But you can't. I don't think you can change the paint job yourself. But sometimes there's more than one ship available. So, for example, there's the Tiger Trader there, which is a sort of flat grey. Looks a bit like an oversized asp, actually. And there's a Tiger Trader there, which is blue. Okay, so you get a choice of grey or blue, depending on which one you want to buy. But these are way out of our price range at the moment. So there we go. So we can look, but we can't touch. So let's go back doing what we were doing. Not bulletin board. Stock market. Let us get computers. Buy. We can at least fill our cargo hold now. That's good. Actually, no, I need to sell one. Sorry, because of course I need some hydrogen fuel in order to do the hyperspace jump. Now, the other thing that I need to keep an eye on. Notice my fuel gauge down here has now dropped to slightly less than 50%. All the time I'm flying around space, I am using hydrogen fuel in this tank. To make the engines work, the main engines, and if that runs to 0, then my main engines will cut out and I'll be adrift, and that's a bad thing because there's no way out of it. So I need to keep an eye on that. So if you spot me forgetting that, please wave in the chat, okay, and say, "Look, Drew, we're running out of fuel," because we don't want to run out of fuel on stream. That's extremely embarrassing. Commander Ariok says there are small variations between planet ports and stations. Okay, that's good. And Timus says, I spent almost as many hours in this as I have in Elite Dangerous. This is a very compelling game, actually. I do enjoy it. And then and there are TV antennas and all sorts of stuff on the ground. And we haven't got to the clocks yet. We will do the clocks at some point when we're a little bit richer. So back we go. So this, it's a fairly tedious trading route, but it does earn us some money early on because we can't really do alien waves already. I haven't forgotten that yet. Give me a chance. Give me a chance to make a mistake. All right. So off we go. Now I need to buy 1 ton of hydrogen, not for the internal tank, but for the hyperspace jump. The hyperspace jump takes 1 ton of fuel. Now you might be able to see it here. So this top bit sort of folds away. You can't actually see it very well in the external view, and then it sort of ejects us out there, so that's good. So let's thrust up. There we go. I'll just go on the external view for a bit. Let's just have a look around. Let's put the undercarriage up because that's always a good idea. There we go. We can see Birmingham World receding behind us. What a lovely place. And the graphics get a bit confused as to what they should be plotting, I think, sometimes. It depends on the direction you're looking. But it does give you the sort of impression of a landscape, which is quite good. There's sort of some mountains and some features over there. You can even see the curve of the horizon a little bit as we get up into space. But there we go. So, but we are allowed to hyperspace quite close to the ground. So there we go. And the rear view is good. Yeah, let's have a quick look on the rear view. So there we go. We can see the base falling away behind us, which is very cool. So boom, there we go. There's the red thingy, and there's the blue thingy. And we've come out of hyperspace sideways for some reason. Not quite sure why that is. We seem to get some strange. Occasionally this happens. You get some strange vectors from the. I don't know why we came out of hyperspace sideways, but there we go. We did. Right. So historic federal capital. We're going back to Earth. We can't land on it, of course. So let's go to the. Whatever it was. There's the moon. We can land on the moon. That's one thing that we can't do. So next time round we'll land on the moon. So let's go to Li Qing Yao space station and switch on autopilot and hit the Star Dreamer and magic will happen. There we go. Thank you for the follow. Always good. And Chuggy Boy's here. Hey, there we go. Unlocked an emote. Well done. I must admit the emote things confuse me. I think I put a few now. I don't know what you have to do to make them. Right, we've arrived here at the, and it's the same model again. So all those 3 space stations are just big space stations, and it costs us 4 credits to land here, which is just extortionate, really. Must be all those tourists. Right, so bulletin board. Does anybody want computers? Come on, robots. Oh. Computers, yeah, he's still there. There's still demand for computers. So this is working out rather well. Okay, so let's sell all our computers to him. Now we've made 10,000. Yay! Which is good. So there we go. So we made it. Now that's getting better. What's available at the shipyard here? Just out of interest. So there's loads of ships available here. We could actually buy ourselves a Falcon attack fighter, should we so wish, but there's nothing for us to do with it. There's the lifter. Now this is the ship I was talking about. So check this ship out. This is quite funny. This is a ship that we could easily buy, but it can't fit a hyperdrive, and it sort of looks a little bit like a Space 1999 Eagle to me. But with the thrusters kind of the wrong way around. But when it takes off, these things articulate and spin backwards. And presumably this is the cargo, 1-ton cargo canisters kind of being locked underneath. And this is another ship that doesn't really have a purpose other than it's kind of around, because you can't put up. Oh, actually, look, you can put a hyperspace drive, or can you? That's interesting. It says you can. Whether or not it actually can fit one, I don't think it can actually. I don't know. That'd be quite a bit of a laugh. Oh, you can, says Alien. Okay, well that's interesting. I didn't know you could do that. So you can actually fit a hyperdrive to it. Presumably it's got no space left though. Ship is useless, but the model is the best. Yes, it's quite a cool looking thing from that perspective. So what else have we got? We've got the interplanetary shuttle, the Falcon attack fighter. Now that looks quite cool. It's basically an airplane. I think it's very, very fast. Look, it's got main thruster acceleration of 30 Earth G. It's got a military drive on board to give it a decent jump range. We haven't really talked about the military drive yet. But it's tiny. It's a tiny little ship, and won't give us any more cargo space, which is what we need at the moment. There's an Asp Explorer. Yay! We'll want one of those at some point. So that's a bit bigger than the Cobra. That's actually a really decent ship in this game. So that's something to look forward to. Then we've got the bigger ship. There's a Viper there, Viper Defence Craft, Constrictor, Lifter, and a Lion Translator. The Puma Clipper is a big ship as well, with 4 massive engines on the back and some fins. Huge undercarriage again. That's all that. I think that might be an energy bomb thingamajig there. But they're all out of our price range at the moment. I'm afraid we're sort of, it's like touring around a Ferrari dealership going, no, I can't afford any of these. So we only have a measly 10,000 credits, which is better that we started only with 100, so we've done all right. Okay, we've done all right. Thank you for the follow, and hello Spiff, DK. How are we doing? All good stuff. Right, so where are we? We are in Seoul here, so we need to be buying, bang. We need to be buying fruit and veg, so we can take it back, and some hydrogen fuel. Now, the fuel level, I'm going to go with we can make one more trip. What do you reckon? Or do I not take the risk? What do you reckon? Splash Dash and dash, says Commander Sinclair. Save and try, says the fire. Wave, says Ozzy G. Am I about to make a fatal mistake? Carry a spare 1 ton. Well, you see, that's going to reduce the profit. Now, this is your classic. This is where this game feels a little bit like Firefly to me. Is it's like, can we push the engines that little bit further? Now I'll show you a trick though. Okay, I'll show you a trick for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to not refuel this time because I want to see if I can get away with this on stream. So I'm going for maximum profits on this run, and I'm going to keep the fuel tank as close to. Because the problem is if I buy 1 ton of hydrogen fuel and fill this tank up, I use the entire ton no matter how empty the fuel tank is. So of course it's better economically. Not that it makes a great deal of difference, but just imagine you're filling your fuel tank up. It costs me the same to fill it up no matter how empty it is, so it's more cost efficient to have it as empty as possible when I fill it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for it. But I will save before we go, just in case it all goes completely and utterly pear-shaped, which it's quite likely to because it's live streaming. So let's see how it goes. Toxic Brandon, thank you for the follow as well. There's no fuel rats here. So everyone's going, wave, save. So I've saved. Okay, we'll come back if it all goes wrong. Truggy Boy says, I want to say, Drew, I played Elite Dangerous in the beginning. I wasn't too impressed. I now love it like an obsession. Well, that happens to Elite players, okay? And that happened after I watched your lore tour. So huge. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you very much. I'm sorry to have made you obsessed. I'm not sure that's all that healthy, but hey. Right, so let's go. Yep, this is all a bit boring now, so let's get out nice and fast. Right, so I need to go back to Barnard Star and get a little bit further from the space station, I think. So let's select something there. Should be far enough away from that hyperspace to work. That's right. I think I need it to be. Why is the hyperspace not? Why doesn't the hyperspace not work? Insufficient fuel 1 ton required. I'm pretty sure I bought some fuel. Didn't I? I thought I bought some fuel. Clearly I didn't. Oh, I didn't buy the fuel at all. Lol. Sorry about that. Right, so now what I've got to do is I've got to go back and talk. Dear. Right, that was very bad. Right, how do I? There we go. Right, so autopilot. Hopefully that will do the manual docking for me. Yeah, good. Right. I hadn't even bought any hydrogen fuel because I forgot. So I'm going to buy 1 ton here, but that's only for hyperspace. Okay, right. Let's go. Off we go. My plan's dashed. Here we go again. Yeah, no, it's you know what I'm like playing the game. Right, that's what, why isn't the hyperspace working? Where's new fuel on board? Right, now it is working. I can hyperspace. Right, so we've hyperspaced. Yeah, I know. So I lost another 4 credits. So that's just that was my mistake there. Anyway, you have to go roughly smooth. You're going to be what was I described as a something space hound, a dynamic space hound. That's what I am. I'm a dynamic space hound. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do to show you how you get around this whole thrust problem of running out of fuel is a little trick. So let's go to Birmingham World, which is over there. We'll go back to the space station because it's just easier, which is Boston base, isn't it? There it is. Okay, so the trick is to switch the autopilot on. The engine starts thrusting, okay? Now there is a chance I could run out of fuel on this trip. So what you do is you look at the distance and go, it's 10 AU, so I'm going to be thrusting forward and then thrusting back. So what I do to save fuel is switch the Star Dreamer on until that starts to drop to, let's say, about 8, 7.5. About there, okay? Go back to normal space, switch the engines off. All right? Switch the engines off. There we go. Then go back to Star Dreamer and let it tick down on its own, because I don't need to be there all that fast, and get it to about there, and then now switch the engines back onto autopilot, because I've coasted the middle part of the journey with my engines off, so I've saved fuel. See? Yeah. And then we now put the starting on, and it should run out of fuel. Ta-da! I've made it. In fact, I probably can do that again a few times. But just to yeah, there you go. It's a year of little faith. It says as a ship breaks down and then crash. So yes, that's a small hack. So if you ever get caught short with fuel in Frontier, that is the way to save a bit of fuel. Now that's not bad, to be honest. You know, our fuel has lasted us for almost 2 months, so to be honest, we can't really complain about that. I don't watch these streams for this level of stress. Dear. Right, so first things first. Now, what have we got on board the ship? It's fruit and veg, isn't it? Yeah. Bulletin board. So let's go. Does anybody want some fruit and veg? Come on, come on. Position on a reputable starship. You haven't met me then. Fruit and veg, yes, there we go. 250 per ton. So that sounds like it probably is quite a good deal. Let's just double check. What's the stock market value for fruit and veg? 125 per ton. So yeah, so that's really good. So hello, yes, lady with the green lipstick. That's a good deal for us. Thank you very much indeed. That's awesome. And hang up. So yeah, so that's good. And grain there as well. So now, wanted narcotics. Ooh, yeah, not yet. That might be slightly illegal. This is the thing you get stuck with at this point in the game. So this is an early kind of slow bit of the game, really, because we don't have enough money to get a better ship, and it takes us quite a long time to make enough money to get into a bigger ship, and then our kind of rate of expansion goes up. What adventures with the military? So yeah, so what does it actually say? Let's find out. It's going to be position on where's the military one? I missed it. There, federal military. It'll be dropping some. Deliver some blank military data cards to the Fomalhaut system. You'll be paid 400 credits. So I don't really want adventures with the military at the moment, and it's the federal military, so I'm much more interested in getting down to the Imperial space to get my Imperial courier. So I'm not now in Frontier. I think in Elite Dangerous there isn't really much penalty to ranking up with one or other of the superpowers. Okay, but in Frontier there definitely is. If you rank up with one, then the other side is very suspicious. And there's only two sides in Frontier Elite 2 because the Alliance doesn't yet exist in the lore. Okay, it hasn't happened yet. So we're 100 years before. So if I rank up with the Feds, then the Empire's going to take a dim view of that. If I rank up with the Empire, then the Feds will take a dim view of it. So if I want to preserve one or the other, then I'm going to have to wait. So I don't want to do any military missions right now. And then, to be honest, in a Mark 1 Eagle, it's not a great idea anyway. So let's proceed on our quest. Now I will refuel just for JR 1988's benefit, so it doesn't pass out. Shipyard. No, stock market. So I need to buy some hydrogen fuel. Where's that? So I need to buy 2 tons this time. 1, 2. There we go. Then I need to go back here. Okay, so I need to hit this refill. And this is something that's not very obvious. Okay, so I've got to buy some fuel. 1 ton of that will then refill my internal fuel tank, which is the one that's got the gauge on the dashboard. So if I press that, boom, there we are. The internal fuel tank is now full again. So, but I've lost 1 ton of hydrogen fuel. Okay, that's how it works. So you have to keep an eye on that. There is a thing you can buy, I think, called the auto refueler. Where's that? It's on this list somewhere. Auto refueler. There you go. So I can buy that. It takes up 1 ton, so there's no point doing it at the moment. All right, but when you've got a big ship, it can burn through this internal tank quite fast because it's got massive big engines. So it becomes quite a nuisance to have to keep doing it. So as long as you keep a stash of hydrogen in your hold, it will automatically fill up the tank for you, which is quite useful on the bigger ships. You don't need to worry about it on the small ships; they just don't use enough fuel for it to notice. Commander Ariok says, yeah, your rep point rise of one superpower is equal to the decrease of the other. So you've got to make a choice here between Feds and Empire, which I think is kind of correct. I think, if I was a captain in the Federal Navy and I went over to the Empire and said, hey, can I do some missions for you? I think the Empire would be kind of like, okay. There would be some suspicion, right? Whereas, in the in Elite Dangerous, you can be I think you can be a duke and a baron and a king at the same time as being whatever the federal ranks are, and it's only just a rank progression, which detracts a little bit from the choices. I think you should be you should have not quite penalties, but you have to make some choices with your commander as to the sort of person you should be, and having things like that in the game are good for the game because it forces you to make choices. Anyway, that's that. So, and I think some of these things are things that are lost by the fact that it's indirectly linked to the fact that Elite Dangerous is a multiplayer game, and you've only got you haven't got a save game that you can go back to and reload. You just are who you are. It's present in the game because that's the way the game works, which means that any choice you make, therefore, there's no way for you to undo that choice, and so they make the impact of the choices less, which is a bit of a shame, I think. Whereas in this game, of course, if I decide I could have as many commanders as I like, so I could have one that goes up the federal rank and another one that goes up the imperial rank, and I can play both as just by loading my save game. So things like that are what you lose when you switch to multiplayer games. I always think the ranks are pure cosmetic. The powers won't provide the free agent you are supposed to be on FFE or ED. Yeah, so I don't know. There isn't much in the game from what I recall that gives you anything special, but it just feels like it should be. Anyway, let's where are we? We're at Boston base, so it's the old computers again. Bye. There we go. Cargo hold is full. Save the game, Drew. Save the game. Don't forget to save the game. Yep. And launch. And off we go again. Not quite sure what those noises are, but right. So back to Sol we go. Hyperspace. Tinkly music. Yeah. So I don't know. The ranks in Elite Dangerous are actually a holdover from this game, I think. So if we have a quick look at those ranks there, you can see the Imperial title is outsider and the federal rank is none. They go up in a similar fashion to Elite Dangerous. So you can, I think, be a baron and a duke and a king in this as well. And you can see where Elite Dangerous gets the NPC images from. Yeah, they haven't improved really, have they? Even for 25 years. It's quite funny. Right, so we got that. So right, so we need to get to Sol. Boom. Let's go to the moon this time because we can land on the moon, which is something you can't do in Elite Dangerous, of course. And I think there's a base on the moon. Here we are, up something city. So here we go. We can go there. So we can land on the moon. We choose to go to the moon and all that. So let's switch that onto autopilot, and off we go. Randomly coloured lipstick is in fashion in 3200. Yeah, that's right. Along with hats. Hats are very popular. So I'm obviously a denizen of the 3200. That little glitch that you saw there, I think that happens sometimes as well, which is a bit weird. So this is the moon, which has another one of these sort of bases with the airlock in it. Again, a random collection, a mountain that appears and disappears on top of the base for strange reasons. So there are a few glitches like that. That's a mountain for those of you who don't recognise what that strange shape is. But it does sometimes it's actually appeared entirely over the base that we're landing on, which is slightly unfortunate. So I'm just going to press the speed up time button to make sure we survive the landing, because sometimes it will do really quite weird collision detection and kill you. just because. So again, bulletin board. Does anybody want computers? Oh, there we go. Oh wait, somebody was asking me, does Leland 9352 exist in this game? We'll have a look for that in a bit. Most of these planets do seem to. So passage for 2 on a fast ship. Ellipse on Iridani. Federal Adventurers again. Missing person. Position as on a reputable starship. Needs work on the starship. Anything considered. Okay, that's more our kind of guy. All right. But no special things for the computers today, which is a shame. Anyway, so we'll just keep trying to make some money. So there are the computers. So sell. I have no more computers to sell, so I have to buy some hydrogen fuel to get back, and I want some fruit and veg, isn't it? Going back the other way. There we go. I don't quite buy fruit and veg on the moon. Oh no, not the land. Lakai. Sorry. What am I talking about? Lakai 9352. Let's have a quick look on the map, because if it does exist, it's not very far away. So there's the land 23 whatever. I know that it should just be out of range of. There we go. There's Lakai 8760. There's ellipse on it. It should be around. There it is. Boom. There we are. Lakai 9352 does exist in. Oh, we should definitely pop across there and have a look. It says it's a faint M-type red star, which is correct. What does it have in the game? There you go. It has some planets. It doesn't have the right planets in my science fiction universe, of course, but it does exist. There it looks like there's a star base there. That's about it. Gupta City. I wonder if that's the same in Elite Dangerous. I don't know whether it is or not. It may well be. They probably exported a lot of the information here from this original game. So I don't know. So only a sector high. So brilliant. Definitely worth a visit. We should definitely pop over there at some point. So it does exist. That's good to know. So in fact, not very far from Barnard Star, as you can see. So we could go there, but well, how are we doing on the stream? We're okay. Let's keep making progress. We've got to keep these things up. Gupta City is in Elite Dangerous, and so is Jennings Rock. So okay, so there we go. They've kept the same information, which is nice for continuity's sakes, I think, which is good. Right, so I'm docked. Let's. Oh, hang on. Save the game. And launch. Right, so off we go. Cool. Pressure suits to be worn at all times. Be a little bit careful. So let's just rear view as we fly away from the moon. There we go. Full throttle. Why not? So the moon has got some sort of pressure domes on it in the year 3200. Of course, we don't know what the surface of the moon looks like in the year 3300 because Elite Dangerous doesn't yet allow us to land on it. So that's a thing that we're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, there seems to be an awful lot of burning things in this era of Elite Dangerous. You know, we need lots of flames on the outside of everything because that's obviously important. Right, off we go. Right, Barnard Star. So let's go back to Birmingham World. And Boston base is over there. That's it. So, notice actually here we can broadcast message to all in range when we're out in deep space. We can broadcast message to all in range. We can do two things. We can do help, I'm under attack, and help, my ship has broken down. As far as I'm aware, neither of those do anything at all. I don't know if they're supposed to, or whether that bit of the game never got coded. But I've tried pressing them in the past and nothing ever happens. I assume they're just there just because it's the sort of thing that you might be able to do, but nobody comes to your rescue. And you could just sit there for hours and then eventually somebody will kill you anyway. So that's no good. Right, so autopilot on. And off we go. No fuel rats for Elite 2. No, nothing like that, I'm afraid. Odyssey would be the perfect time for this land on the moon, but naturally Apollo landing sites would need to be modelled in some fashion, perhaps incorporated into a museum. Yeah, I think a museum of the Apollo landing sites would be very cool, wouldn't it? Right, so there's the space station and Instadock. So no, there's nothing like fuel rats or anything like that, because of course it's a single player game, so there's no automation. The only exception to that is the police, and we'll definitely do a police thing when we've got a slightly better ship, because the police are quite entertaining in Frontier Elite 2. So right, what am I doing? Let's look at the bulletin board, and we've got fruit and veg on board. So does anybody want fruit and veg? Well, actually there's not much going on here at all. Donations to Ian Schmidt's Pet Sanctuary. So not very interesting. So no, not much going on there at all. Stock market. So let's sell all of that. We haven't got any fruit and veg to sell. We need to buy some hydrogen fuel. So this is kind of the tedious part of the game, because it takes us, because the ship is so small, even with everything stripped out of it, it takes us quite a long time to make some cash, enough cash to do anything, because we can't really take part in most of the bulletin boards. We can't even do the small groups, and to be honest, it's not really worth it. The financial outlay isn't really good. We can't get anybody on board the ship as a pilot. These monies just aren't high enough for us to really be bothered. Small ship. How many of you are there? Well, there's 4 of us, which means I need to spend 6,000 credits just to outfit the ship. So yeah, it just isn't worth my while at this point. So all I can really do is do trading at this point in the game, and it takes a while for us to get enough money to get anywhere. What year was this released? Yes, it's 1993, so it's a long time ago. Right, so I think we're ready to go again, aren't we? So let's save that game. Launch request. Boom. There we go. There's another one of those ships out there. Again, they're around some of the 27 years old. I mean, that's a lot, isn't it? That's almost of my lifetime, which shows how old I am. Right, so back to Sol we go. Hyperspace Ho. Tinkly music. And then we need to... that's Sol. Go to Earth. So let's go back to Abraham Lincoln. Because... autopilot, some speed. So I don't think there's, unless anybody can tell me otherwise, there's not a great deal of alternative to what I'm doing at the moment. At this point in the game, I need to get into a bigger ship, and then the amount of credits you get as a trader goes up dramatically as you can start moving up the ships. But it takes quite a long time to get out of the Eagle because it just doesn't have enough money making capability. It sounds a bit like a vacuum cleaner, yeah. Yeah, it's the special effects are not super enough. Commander Shorty, I was 1 when this game was released. That's making me feel old now. Kelvinator was 13. Go on, how old were you in 1993? Let's have a little bit of a poll. Stick that in the chat, that's quite funny. I was 23, I'll have you know. I was 23. I was at my first job. I just left university when this was out. Right, so bulletin board. Ancillus was 12, Alien was 21, almost same age as me, 22, 23 as well. Yay! Dirk was 19. This was my first Elite Games that's coming here. I was 5. 2023, 19, 8. Only combat and running military missions can add to the credits. Okay, there we go. 18 and 92, 27. So yes, some good levels. A few people are older than me, which is even more exciting. Now this isn't nice. What's this? Look, removal required. Senator Wagner. It's no longer wanted in the Lalande system. We'll pay 20,000. Aussie G is 50 in 5 days. Well, happy birthday for next week then, Aussie. Frankie Viking was 7. So I think we had somebody who was 1. I think that's the that's the best one we've had. There must be some people who are minus something, right? Apart from a couple of kids, the stream is full of old people. Well, it's a retro game, isn't it? It's a retro game. So yeah, I'm a bit upset that Senator Wagner is no longer required. poor person who was 1. So no, we love you really. Right, so federal military payment of the need work on a starship. Anything considered? Payment for a passenger on a group. So again, it's not going to work for us because group to the lighting system. Friends of the Galaxy ban military drives campaign. So a bit of local politics coming in there now. Nothing interesting for us, unfortunately. So again, whoever was selling those computers is no longer in business. So we're slowly making cash, okay, but it's not quick. It's not quick. Only combat and running military missions can add to the credits. So I'm making about 1,000 credits per run at the moment, and we need how many for the next ship? If we wanted, not that one, if we wanted an adder, we still need 36,000 credits. Love all the Weasley wordings they have for the assassination. Yeah, those are very good. Yeah, those are very good. So even the adder is out of our price range at the moment. So it's quite hard to make money at this point in the game. I can't see anything on the bulletin board that I mean, that's passed on a ship to the group. But if we ask how many, there's going to be like there are 7s, and we've got space to do that. We can have one passenger cabin on our ship. Yeah, I do like the assassination missions. There's a classic one that hasn't come up yet. I haven't seen yet. Where is it? Oh, we saw Wager, didn't we? Senator Wagner is no longer wanted. That one's not very subtle. This one I particularly like, though. Here we go. Biographical. Some admirers wish Kathy Mansfield to have a fitting career end in the Barnard star system. I think that's rather nice. Not nice, but it's very well written. So basically, this is interesting. We can't do this mission at the moment. Thanks for contacting us, but we want someone with a higher Elite Federation combat rating, so we can't do that mission. Okay. No matter how much we smile at the twinkly earrings, it doesn't give us an option, so we don't have a choice. Throwing failing to be subtle. I still get people a little older than me telling me that video games are for children. I know, I get that, and it's like, hang on, come on, I'm 50 and I'm playing video games, and I've been playing video games all my life and I still love them, so that's just rubbish, isn't it? Shaggy Boy says, I'm heading back to Seoul because you made me want to do some trading. I'm 2,000 light years out of my ASP and the USS Voyager and ED. Yay, well, good for you, sir. Removal required, yeah. I like this. This one's very nice. Some admirers wish Kathy Mansfield to have a fitting career end. That's very nicely done. We don't want her to have a bad career, and we want her career to go out with a proper bang. Yeah, that's literally. So that's quite good fun. Stacking military delivery missions can get you fair bit on the right route, but not an option if you're going to Empire. So yeah, no, I don't really want to do that. What I really think I just need to do is just keep doing this for a bit and get some more cash. So let's keep slogging on with it. I haven't got anything in the cargo, so what am I buying here? Where am I? Abraham Lincoln. So I'm buying fruit and veg. It's just so annoying. The ship is so small. Although I'm, as an in-player character, I'm probably the richest I've ever been with 13,000 credits to my name. It's a generational thing. My nan didn't grow up playing computers. See, my dad didn't. My dad was born in 1942, 1942-ish, I think, 1943, somewhere just just at the end of the Second World War, and he died in back in 2012, and he didn't grow up with computer games as they didn't really exist, but he loved computers and electronics. And he played computer games with me as a when I was a kid. He would play games along with me and enjoy them. He loved computer games, but a lot of that generation didn't get it at all. I agree. Whereas my generation, so I'm Gen X as it's called. So I was born in 1970. I think I'm a fairly early Gen X actually. From that perspective, because I think you have to be born from 68ish to 82 or something like that to be in Generation X. I was playing computer games from the age of sort of 6, 7 upwards when they started appearing mainstream in the late 70s, and I've never stopped playing computer games. So, but I don't think I ever will. So that if that makes sense. So it is a generational thing to an extent, but people my age, okay, so 50 is how old I am now. I would expect most of them to have played some computer games and enjoyed some of them. Okay, so I don't think anybody younger than me can claim to be. No, I don't think computer games are appropriate because I think it's childish. Yeah, that's mad. So I don't know. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Right, we need some hydrogen fuel. Boom, there we go. Cargo bay is full again. Save that game. Launch. It's going to have real gamers as well. Stuck my 83-year-old dad in a VR headset earlier this year. He was amazed. Yeah, so things like that do impress people. Even my wife, and she's a little younger than me. She's not a gamer really at all. She likes to read books and cook things, which is jolly handy actually, which is good. But even she was impressed with VR. It made her feel dizzy, but she got the idea of why people enjoy things like that. 100-year-old Drew in the care home rambling about needing to go back. I probably will. If I'm still alive when I'm really, really, really ancient, and I start losing my marbles. If I'm still alive at that point, to be honest, I don't want to be alive at that point. I don't want to be old to the point where things start breaking down, they can't do stuff, and I definitely don't want to lose my marbles. Okay, but I'd rather someone just sort of took me out into a field and shot me through the head with a shotgun. Just take him out and blow him away. So I'm planning. I've sort of promised my wife. No, you're going to die first, not in a nasty way. But I want to outlive her, so she hasn't got to worry about all that sort of stuff. That's my sort of in my head plan. Whether that will work, because statistically that's quite unlikely. But I've sort of promised her, no, I'm going to outlive you, so I can sort all that out on your behalf. And then once I've sorted everything else out, and the kids are happy and everything else, I'm gonna drive off a cliff or take an airplane flight across the Andes and just disappear. Okay. There's going to be these legends told. This is how it's in my head anyway. The legends told. Oh yeah, Mad Uncle Drew. Yes, he just one day he just disappeared. Nobody knows where he went. Nobody knows if he's ever coming back. Nobody ever found the body. It's going to be like that. That's how it is in my head. Of course, what's much more likely is I'll end up in some sort of retirement home for disgruntled elite commanders, where I'll slowly go insane. And I will be rabbiting on about, we've got to get back to Lave. And where's Raxler? Raxler? Yeah, that guy over there, he knows, tell him. So I can see something like that happening to me, but who knows, eh? Hopefully, I want to go out either mysteriously or in a bit of a blaze of glory. I'd much rather do that than just sort of decline and then slowly die away. But maybe maybe you young folk on the stream can come to my funeral and do elite-y stuff, okay? That would be quite good fun. I wouldn't mind that. So anyway, there we go. Right, well, what am I doing? Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? Here we are at Barnard Star again. That was a bit moribund, was a bit melodramatic. How are we all going to die in age as we're video gamers? So yes, that's no. We don't. Yeah, that's all very depressing. Hopefully, years away for all of us. The only thing I would say is that on that slightly morbid note is as you get. I mean, 50 is a number which is of course quite when you're young it seems like a lifetime away. And now I'm beginning. Now whenever I go on Facebook, every other advert is: have you considered your retirement? Have you got enough in your pension? Everything is about pensions and retirement now, and saga insurance and things like this, which is all old people stuff. Okay. So that's kind of one of those things that happens at the age of 50. It's obviously some timer has ticked over and they've gone, right, it's time to whack in with all those old person adverts, which has noticeably changed since last year. When I was in my 40s, now I didn't get anything like that at all. Now I'm in my 50s, it's just retire, pension, etc, etc. Let's get the ship on the way. But the thing I would say about it reaching this age, Arthur C. Clarke did it rather well. He basically said you just become conscious that there are less days ahead than have already passed. Okay, so which is probably inevitably true. The chances of me living to 100 are pretty low. Okay, unless there's some major medical intervention. I don't really have the genes for it. My grandfather and my father died in their 70s. I'm hoping to beat that by some margin, but the odds aren't necessarily in my favour. So make the most of your life while you're still here, right? Carpe diem and all that sort of stuff. But it does make you think. Okay, if I've only got 25 or 30 years left, whatever it happens to be, what am I going to do with them? What do I want to achieve? What is my purpose in life? Am I a whale? No. Am I a bowl of petunias? What is my purpose in life? And all those things are, you do in your quieter moments. They do little, edge into the edges of your mind and demand an answer sometimes. So on that slightly depressing note, we'll now do something more cheerful. Okay. Dear, it's quite funny. Right, back to the bulletin board we go. Does anybody want some stuff? Where are we? We're in Barnard Star, aren't we? So we've got fruit and veg on board. We wish to encourage blah 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 blah. Massey's Warehouse, highest prices. Kathy Perry, someone for removal job. Passage for a small group. Payment for the Lighton system. Nope, nobody's giving us decent money. It's a shame. Sell the fruit and veg. Buy the hydrogen. Buy the computers. And round we go again. Save the game. Launch. So I know this is a bit. This is a spoiler alert. There we are. We're all going to die. Yeah, that's it's just life though. Okay, that's just a weird thing. Yeah. Stop depressing us, Drew says. Happy Saturday, everybody. Sorry, you're right. Onwards, right? Yes. Up the tone of it. I filled out some form once, and I haven't become misread the date of birth because I started getting a Sun Overlife 50 pension plan coming through, and I was in my 20s. Oops. All right, so back to the Sol we go. That's right, you're not in Barnard Star, Mr. Wegg, you're in the Sunshine Ocean. Yes, that's what's going to happen. He goes, no, I need to get back to Lave. Where's Lave, sir? Well, Lave, hyperspace. I can see that conversation happening. In fact, what I will probably do, knowing me, is okay. When I get old, I will do two things. I will pretend to be deaf and pretend to be mad. Not that many people notice the difference. I can just imagine me in the care home just having endless fun. Sending people on quests to get me things I don't need. Which is very childish, but it's the sort of thing I'm probably going to do, to be honest. Dear. Right. What am I doing now? Planning my retirement, yes. It's all good stuff in this. Right, so back to the space station. Or back to one of the space stations. Manual control. Nope. Oh, that's funny. For some reason the autopilot didn't hook up. Don't know why that was. Right, autopilot. There we go. Like in the old worlds, where I told Least he was safe, but you were an imposter. And what I need somebody in the care home who's old like me, who also played Elite and knows what's going on, to be in on the joke. That would be even more fun. Trolling me, yes, that's right. 300 tons of tea for the Empire. Are you an Imperial spy? What's he talking about again? Nobody knows. Now, what I'm really going to do, actually, this is a brilliant idea. What I'm going to do is on my, you've got to have your final speech, okay, ready for when you're about to snuff it. So when I'm lying there in my shroud and my family's gathered around and stuff, my last words are going to be, and the secret of Raxler is. I'm going to have to do that. Yes, that's definitely a thing I'm going to have to do. Right, so where am I? Back to the bulletin board. Anything? Come on, give me something. Nobody's giving me anything now. Robots. Passage on a fast ship. No, nobody wants computers today. Sigh. Sell. Buy 1 ton. Oh, and I'm down low on the fuel again. I'm going to have to do my thing. So actually, what I'm going to do, just to stop JR 1988 having a heart attack, I'm going to refuel it now, so he feels happy. There we go. Let's buy some more hydrogen fuel. I can splash out there, filling up the fuel tank a little bit. It cost me 9.8 credits, to do that. So there we go. I'm truly evil. He keeps talking about Robert Holdstock. I think it's the name of his car. Who's Robert Holdstock? I can do that. Get me Robert Holdstock on the line. Who's Robert Holdstock? Nobody knows. David Raymond said this once. He owes me an apology. The funny thing was, if I ended up in the same care home, that seems unlikely, but he's not that much older than me, so maybe we could. Don't you dare see if it. If FDF reveals Rex not needed before your death, it that's right. It will ruin my fun. So they can't do that. After these words, the secret of is your body will. Yeah, that's right. I've got to arrange for myself to sort of just dematerialize somehow. And yeah, actually, no, wouldn't that? This is perfect. Okay, so one day I'm there, next day I'm not. All that is left is my hat and my pin badge. There's no other trace of me left. That's the way to do it, isn't it? Just. Yeah, my streaming setup will be there. There'll be a copy of Frontier Elite 2 running on the screen, and all that's left is my hat and a hyperspace button or something. Dear, still very morbid, planning my demise. Right, there we go. Stream 11. Right, so. We are. Oh, we haven't bought any stuff. Bulletin board. No. Stock market. I've done this so much now that I think I'm getting interface fatigue. There we go. Launch. Boom. 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 Press the hyperspace button. Back to Barnard's. No, Barnard stars that way. Tinkly stuff. Right, so question to your penchant for hats got picked from this game. No, not really. And there's the hat, perfect. Yeah, so definitely the hat's got to be a thing, isn't it? No, funny enough, I started wearing hats about 15 years ago. Partly because I just like hats, but mostly because actually my dear dad, who died a few years ago now, actually got skin cancer and actually died of skin cancer. Not a very pleasant way to go, I'm afraid. So yeah, he got malignant melanoma, skin cancer, as a result of sunburn. And so I've always, that's sort of stuff that's in the back of your mind, really. So I thought I started wearing hats when they're going out because, alas, as for many people my age, my inbuilt shielding has failed. So I don't have a great deal of hair left on top of my head, which is one of those things. And so I started wearing a hat for practical reasons when I was out and about, and slowly over the years acquired a collection of hats. And then as a writer, which is sort of something that happened to me in about 2011 when I got my first book published, writers and hats seem to be a thing. So I thought, I'm just going to wear a hat. So I tend to wear a hat now wherever I go. And most people who've met me meet me wearing a hat. So when I'm not wearing a hat, nobody recognises who I am. So people see the hat more than me. So I just tend to wear a hat. And then when I was on the stream, I started streaming without the hat, and then I thought, well, I'll just put the hat on, and it was kind of quite popular. And now it's a thing, okay, that I can't stream without a hat. So this is sort of my inside hat that I wear for streaming. So there we go. And I don't have a fez. No, I'm much more of a fedora man. I might see if I can get a fez at some point, just for funs and lols. But no, I'm much more of a fedora type chap in terms of hats. And I like having a brim because it's actually very practical, keeps the sun out of your eyes and keeps the rain out of your eyes as well. Hats are great in the rain where umbrellas, for example, aren't practical. So yeah. And hats have been out of fashion for years, so I'm not bothered about that. Sombrero, yes. Let's see if I can get some different types of hats for different streams. Yes, I should probably branch out from the fedora. Fedora is my go-to hat because it's just eminently practical, keeps the sun out of your eyes, is comfortable, keeps the rain out of your eyes, and if you tuck it down, sort of like that, it doesn't, even the wind can't blow it away. So it's much more practical than an umbrella. And I don't like wearing hoods because I don't like having my ears covered up. Okay, I like to be able to hear at all times. So. We're being checked by the police again. So that's the fedora. That's the reason for the fedora. Right. So I'm police officer Helen again. Hello. Right. I'm going to go to page 41 of the manual. Here's the manual, and answer a police question. Line 2 of page 41 is ECM system. So word 2 is obviously system. So S. Seems to be okay. She's happy again. She's gone away. Fingers crossed we're getting that right, because if we get it wrong 3 times, I think the game is over because the police just pinch our ship. Does the hat keep ideas in when you're writing? Definitely. Yes. It's got an internal coating, which is completely reflective of ideas. That's how it works. Yeah. Well, that's why writers use hats. You see, special hats. Only writers know how to make this material. Which sits on the inside of your hat and reflects ideas back into your head so they stick. That's exactly how it works. It's aligned with Imaginarium. That's really good. Shouldn't the hat be slightly tilted? Well, I don't know. There's probably some stylistic thing. So I tend to keep mine at a sort of comfortable level about like that. That feels comfortable. And after a while I forget it's there. So. Other than I bang into things and then, I've still got my hat on. Right, bulletin board. Yes, let's double check. Can't remember what we've got on the ship. Guardians of the Free Spirit. Dirk Tracy. Small package to the Altair system for 100 credits. That's not very much. Small group. Payment of 600. Joe Cook last seen. I don't know how those missions work. How does the missing persons one work? Maybe we should try one of those at some point. Wanted narcotics. We haven't got any narcotics. Passenger on a fast ship. Payment of this. Goods bought and sold. Someone for a removal job. Franz Davies needs removing from the 36 Ofuchi system. But nobody wants to pay us extra money. So we were getting lucky earlier on in the game. We're not getting so lucky now. which is a bit of a shame, but never mind. Cargo hold is full. Okay. So, save again. Back we go. This is very like the original Elite, you see, because all you can really do at the beginning is slowly trade your way across space, and you can see why people got a bit. I'm not sure if the balancing here is all that good, because there isn't much to do with this at the moment. I can't see any services. I can't take. I suppose I could try one of the military missions, but I don't really want to do that. A missing persons are usually advertising for being a passenger. Okay. Oh, I might try that then. We could possibly do some of those just to give us something else to do. So this initial and it is, I mean, we didn't call it grind back in the day. I don't maybe that's a more modern thing. I don't remember us complaining about this sort of repetitive gameplay. This was the gameplay, okay? The games aren't quite the same nowadays. Well, not all of them anyway. But so they were that much more time consuming, and you would this would be a wet sort of Sunday afternoon type playing session, and you do this a few times in order to get anywhere, and this is the gameplay, so we're being very true to it. But I must admit, playing it now, and I didn't feel this with the Spectrum version of Elite so much, maybe because we could buy some stuff, maybe we could buy some stuff a bit quicker than we can on this game. This game is, the goal of getting that next ship is a long way off. Okay, we got to get to 36,000 credits, and we're making about 2,000 credits a lap on this trade route. Okay, so maybe I'll get more profit doing luxury goods. Okay, let's switch to that when we get in there. So that's the thing. But even so, we're not. It's taking us a long time to make some money at this point in the game. I remember from playing it before that it rapidly accelerates once you can get out of the starter ship. But we're not out of the starter ship, and we can't make any more money any quicker because we haven't got the cargo capacity to do so. In Elite, I suppose in Elite we had a ship with a 20-ton cargo capacity at the start, so we could get going a bit faster with only 8 tons available, and that's with every other piece of non-essential equipment stripped out. We just can't make the money. And we can't, like in the original game, we can't buy a cargo bay extension to bolt onto the bottom of the ship. So it is a bit sluggish. So there is that. You pick the Cobra start. You can start with a Cobra, and you can get going a lot faster. So that's actually sometimes a better way to start. But we're trying to be true to the spirit and start with a recommended start position. So this is a bit, it's definitely, it certainly feels grindy by today's standards. Whether or not I'd have felt it was grindy at the time, probably not, I would say, because you can while away many hours playing a game like this, and that's kind of the point, I suppose. But I am beginning to think we should try something different. So let's just do a scan through here. Does anybody want some computers? Take a small package, small group. So missing person, wanted passengers on the ship, fast ship to the Tower City. That's not very much money. So there's nothing. Nobody wanting computers. So like we say, we can probably make some more money by buying. So let's just have a quick look back through there again. So we've got. Let's go back to the top. Wanted for a small group, we can't do that. Bought and sold, that's the thing. Vacancies of crew member, that's no good to us. Bought and sold again, that's the black market calling. Federal military, we don't want to do. Passage for 2 people on a fast ship to the Luyton system. That might work, actually. Donations to the Guardians of the Free Spirit. Lighten your soul and your wallet. Kathy Schmidt, the merchant, is no longer wanted. Don't think we're going to be able to do that yet. Wanted the ship to take a small package to the Groombridge system, but that's hardly worth our bother. Ship required for a small group to the Alpha Centauri system. Wanted passage for a group. Kirsten Chan. So this one, £200 paid for useful information. So what happens there? I don't know quite how that one's supposed to work. So Kirsten Chen, last seen in the Groombridge 34 system. Does that mean, because I would be lying if I said any of these. Yeah. 3,720 for the 2 people wanting passage on the fast ship. Same as the odds against successfully navigating asteroid belt. Yeah. So I don't quite know how this one's supposed to work, because I don't know anything about Kirsten Chan, obviously. Kirsten Chan has an advert on this bulletin board, does she? I suppose that's a case of, okay, so does she? I'm Bert Rance, so it's not him. Let's just have a quick scan through, because I've never really done those missions. Safety save, yes, that's probably a good idea. Let's do that. Good call. So, wanted on... Okay. Oh, my computer's running out of storage space, apparently. That's probably all the videos I've been saving. Right, so Lee Cooper, no. Vacancy required on the Starship, that's Wendy Maxwell. No. Federal Military Wanted Passage, no. Jez Cook. Just wondering if it's giving me a clue. Kathy Schmidt is no longer Kathy Schmidt. Okay, so that's the small package. That's no good. That one is Wendy Greenhill. Small group to the Lighten system. Kirsten Chen and Sharon Grant. So that's Bert Rance. Missing person. There's another one. Shirley Taylor. So missing person. I'm looking for Shirley Taylor. No, so I don't know her either. Was Shirley Taylor one of the people on that list? That's Jeremy Cousins. Ian Oliver. So no, I don't know how that mission's supposed to work. Let's just have a look at this passage on a fast ship for 2 people. Because that on the surface of it looks vaguely doable, but I think it's disappeared now. I think oh no, there it is. Okay, so when do they need to be there? Okay, so need passage for 2 people on a fast ship, but how fast? How do I know? It'd be better if they avoid Imperial and Tanklet. So I don't know. Okay, so how fast do I need to get there? Why so much money? How many of you are there? There are 2 of us, yeah. The Foam Metals Corporation is after me and they may want me killed. Okay, so that's problematic, so that's dangerous. I could ask for more money. Okay, that's all you can pay. So that one's sort of tempting, but I don't know how fast. The key thing is there's a fast ship, and I'm going to have to outrun, and I might get attacked by some pirates. So I think it might be might be fun to try this, just on the off chance we get away with it, because we've got enough money. So I have saved, so that's good. So let's try this as a bit of variety. Okay, let's try this. I'll save first. I think I have saved, but let's just save again just because we can. And I think what's happened there, I've just had an error for OBS. I think I've just run out of disk space. Oh, excuse me while I do a small amount of housekeeping on my drive here. Where is my video folder? I'm going to get rid of some of the old stuff that I don't need to keep on here anymore. There we go. Right. Because I've uploaded those, I don't need to keep them. They're there for archives purposes. Right, let's just restart that recording. There we go. Right, so I've saved. I've got an error message there pop up on my screen saying I'm really out of this space. What? I just realised it's all those these screen captures take vast amounts of gigabytes of disk space. Right, so we need to put some passenger cabins in then. Oh no, I can't do it, can I? Oh, I've just realised because I need 2 passenger cabins. Yeah, I can't. The passenger cabins are 5 tons, and there's 2 people, so that's not going to work. Oh, so I thought we could do something different there. That is annoying because that's tempting. Passage for 2 people, yeah, so I can't do it. So that's no good. Right, so back to the bulletin board then. Right, let's get the luxuries because they pay a bit better. In fact, so that's going to make us more money now, isn't it? So that's a good call. Thanks for that. And we'll just keep an eye on the bulletin board in case there is anything that we can do. But most of the stuff's out of our range with this ship. This is the slightly frustrating thing at this point in time. Right, off we go. I need to get out of this Eagle. You're quite right. I need more money. I need more cash. I need to have a decent ship. The Eagle is just too small. So Barnard Star. Off we go. Barnard Star. Tinkly, tinkly, tinkly. So yeah, we want to go and see new parts of the galaxy. So this run. This is a good run to get us started, but we do need to do something else. But most of the game is out of our reach in the starter ship, which is a bit frustrating. Yeah, I didn't realise. I thought the passenger cabin. 5 tons is quite a lot of space for a passenger cabin, isn't it? I'm sure we could get a cut down version of the passenger cabin. Which would be a bit cheaper. 5 tons seems a lot of space. I suppose it's got to have life support and all that kind of stuff in it, but even so. Right. Right. Come on, give us a bonus. Bought and sold. Small package from group. Crew member. Nope. It's not being nice to us. So actually, this is interesting. So we've got 8,000 credits in the thing at the moment, and we had about 13 before, 13, 14. Let's see how much we actually make by selling these luxury goods this time around. So sell. So that's actually getting us there. We're kind of halfway there, which is. So I'm in the cupboard, exactly. Economy class cabins, that's what we need. Thank you for the follow, thank you very much. Japanese pod hotel style cabins. We'll just put them in suspended animation. You know, they don't need any life support then, do we? We can just hibernate them. So it's not that far, it's only going to take a week. And you won't be getting any older. So why not? Sounds like a perfect solution. But anyway. Right, so it's back to, where are we? At Boston base. We were back to computers here, aren't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus some fuel. Right, and save the game because there we go, and launch. Off we go. A number of times in this game, and the cargo bay life support. Yes, because I think if you carry, that's right, you've got to have cargo bay life support because otherwise, if you carry slaves in the hold, which is an option, I think in some places. Then you get to your destination having bought 5 tons of slaves and discover to your horror that you have 5 tons of fertilizer instead, which is just which is sort of, that's very cold, but it's quite funny. Although of course what you should have is 5 dead bodies really. It's a bit grim. Just fertilizer, but it is black humor, and the game has got a lot of stuff like that in it. Right, so it's quite cool. I don't think they do that in Elite Dangerous anymore. Animal meat. Yeah, that's right. No, it's worse than that. It literally just turns to fertilizer. So that is a bit grim. Right, so Earth is over there. Yeah. Let's go to Gorbachev this time. Autopilot. Stardreamer. Edible poets, yes, that's exactly what they are. So, even in '93 and perhaps back even in '94, the concept of trading in slaves is a bit, always raises an eyebrow if you describe this game. It does give you the option of doing some, I suppose, ethically challenging things in terms of the way you conduct yourself in the future. And it paints, and actually the entire Elite Dangerous universe paints a pretty grim picture of what life in the future is like. Most of us probably work in the Fish Pie environment down on the surface, or got some scrappy job on the space station. Only a chosen few, I think, graduate to flying spaceships around. And the impression you get from the ED law actually of that the general populace doesn't think all that much of the space travelling community. They sort of see them almost as an underclass of so you're a sort of itinerant person that's flying through space and never settles down, so you're obviously not trustworthy. You get that sort of impression from the way that Elite is written, and then of course the entire universe is full of assassinations and contract killings and dodgy dealings and drugs and narcotics and slave trading and stuff like this. So it sounds a lot more anarchic than today. But in space. Doesn't sound like a particularly pleasant universe to live in many ways. Mr. Dupre of Chester Inc. needs to retire. Needs work. Joe Coates needs to retire. Computers! Look at that. Yeah, so this is a good one. Yay. So that makes us a nice chunky bit of money. Yay. So 23,000 credits. So that's good. It is kind of the Wild West in space. It is, yeah. I presume the slaves and Imperial slaves and Elite Dangerous are in stasis pods, so not the so we don't need cargo bay life support in the same way in Elite Dangerous. Development in the Elite Dangerous setting has slowed down very much, partially due to the limitations imposed on artificial intelligence. That's a good point, the Kazakh, because sentient AI has been banned for reasons that aren't entirely clear, but something went wrong in the dim and distant past of the Elite Dangerous universe, and sentient AI has been banned. So AI is very limited, can only do certain things, which is interesting. Altered carbon, cyberpunk, Shadowrun, all dark futures. Yeah, it seems to be a general theme of it does actually, doesn't it? Yeah. So Star Trek is one of the only ones that kind of has a sort of optimistic viewpoint. We've banished money and we just work to better ourselves, and we did take that a bit apart on the my science fiction stream on Mondays, where we just talk about science fiction in general, because it's totally unrealistic for humanity, but it's a nice thing to look forward to if we ever got there. So yeah, I don't have much faith that humanity will be that good any time soon, certainly not by the 23rd and 24th century. Right, so back to so we've got 23,000 when we're buying. So 23,000. So let's buy. I can't buy that many. So that costs us 8,000 to actually fill the hold with luxuries. Let's see how many we will make as a result of going back to Barnard Star. Save the game, of course. Save the game. Save the game. Yep, I know my Dropbox is full. Just buzz off. Stop getting in the way of the screen. Windows. Shush. Right, so off we go. Launch request. Dum, dum, dum. Yeah, so even Star Trek's gone dark now. Yeah, the kind of utopian ideals of Star Trek have kind of been thrown in the bin, at least recent years, haven't they? So everything's dark, and Battlestar Galactica was dark, and The Expanse is dark, and Altered Carbon is dark, and Dark Matter was dark, oddly enough. It's all gloom. Yeah, there isn't a sort of optimistic future to look forward to at the moment. So yeah, Doctor Who's dark. Everything's dark. Dark is obviously in fashion, so it will probably change at some point. We'll have this utopian society presented to us at some point in the future. But I think people are very sceptical of what humanity actually can achieve in terms of things like that. Orville is I haven't watched the Orville yet. It is on my list of things to watch. I need to watch it, but I haven't got around to it yet. So yes, it is on my list. There's Boston Base. Good stuff. Right. So it was 23,000 before I did this run. Interesting to see how much money I actually get. If you like TNG, Orville is the way to go. I like TNG. TNG was, that's very dated as well now. But yeah, Dark Matter was great, but of course they didn't finish it, did they? It's such an annoying thing with these things that they start off really well, make a TV series which is really, really good, and then they chop it off before the story concludes. And it's like, happens so often. So it's so annoying that. That's just life, isn't it? Right, bulletin board. Come on, give me some. The Galactic Welfare, the charity that really cares. Okay, animal skins will pay 3,000. The problem with that one is it won't be there. If I go and get some animal skins, it won't be there when I come back. Narcotics always pays well. Useful information. Restore historical buildings. Passage on a fast ship to the Tau Ceti system. 400, that's not very much. So again, nothing here. So back to the stock market. Let's sell Lux goods. Let's see how much money we end up with. So we're making 2,000 credits there. We're getting close. So next week we should get our next ship, I think. But we're not going to make it this year. We've just got. In fact, I've got that. I'm kind of time out. So I'll do one more run just because. So I'm. Let's do computers. 7. Oh, looks. Am I? No, I've got fuel on board, so that's okay. I don't need to do that just yet. And let's do one more run for this week, and then next week, hopefully, we'll get ourselves a a new ship. After all this playing, now it's interesting. I mean, look how much time we've spent in game. It's the 6th of May now. We've been flying around space for like 5 months. Which is a lot of time. We started on the beginning of this game. We started on the 23rd of January. It's now the 6th of May, and all that hyperspace travel adds up. Time does go past. It's quite funny. There we go. So Expanse is getting season 6, which will be the final one. Okay, well that's good. Now I don't know about you guys. I love the Expanse seasons 1 to 3. Really, really enjoy it. I mean, season 1 was a bit slow to get going, but once it kicked into high gear, it was excellent. I really enjoyed the Expanse. Season 4, for me, I just thought, is this the same show? Because it just felt like a bunch of people in a couple of porter cabins just arguing with each other all the time, and I have to admit, to my shame, that I've totally lost interest. Season 4, apart from a few bits where some alien tech occasionally did some weird stuff, season 4 left me totally cold on the Expanse. I couldn't get on with it at all. I've still got it, so I have to go back to it and try again. But I literally fell asleep because my wife and I were watching it on Friday evenings, and we were on the edge of our seats with the Expanse episode, seasons 2 and 3. Really wanted to know what happened next, and then season 4, both of us woke up at you do that jolt. You woke up at the end. Oh, there's the credits playing, and we both fell asleep. So I don't know whether it was I missed something. It just after season 4. I don't know. Does it get better? Does it get better? Do tell me. I'd like to know. I think they ran out of ideas. Dropped out there to the Expanse. It kind of ended up being pretty much overrated, probably because of the hype. Yeah. Oh, season 5 launches in 2 weeks' time, so I don't know. Okay, so we haven't seen season 5. So I kind of fell out of love with it in season 4. I got about 6 episodes in, and it's just people arguing on the surface of a barren planet in a porter cabin, and I can't figure out what they're arguing about. They just seem to be really fractious with each other all the time for no obvious reason. So I don't know. I struggled with it, but season 3 was amazing. So I don't know. I had the feeling that things happen at the beginning and the end of every Expanse season. In between, there's usual groups of people doing the usual things. Yeah, I suppose that's probably fair. So have we got anything here? Come on. Feeling generous? No. Saving money for spaceship. Needs work. Computers? Yeah, we got some money. Brilliant. There we go. So that's a nice way to finish off the stream, that we got a bunch of cash. So we are within striking range. Okay, we are within the striking range. So apologies for what is probably a slightly tedious stream, other than the morbid fascination with death and stuff. But we are now within striking distance of a new ship. So in the shipyard, new and reconditioned ships, there we are. So so the Adder, which I think is the logical one to go for next, is not too far away. Okay, but we need to get a bit more beyond 36,000 credits, because we still need operating capital to buy things with, so we're going to have to keep trading. So we need to get to at least 40,000 in cash, but that won't take us too long, I think. Because an alien's quite right. I need money for working capital, and I need cargo. So we need to get to at least 40k, I think. But we're making about 2,000 credits per round trip at this point in time. So this will be out of the tedium of the Eagle Mark 1. And then some of the fun stuff starts beginning. Once we get into half decent ships, once we get things like the Cobra Mark 3 and the Asp Explorer and stuff, we can actually start doing some stuff. So there we go. Slightly boring. It's been rubbish. Had a good time. I'm glad you had a good time, because it is sort of a grind by modern day standards, but this is the gameplay. So we've got to go through. This is all part of the experience. So there we go. Anyway, so I will save it there, my friends. On stream 19, there we go, and we will be back next Saturday for more, and hopefully we'll get to do some slightly more interesting stuff, get some new ships and go off and do some things, try some different missions and all that sort of stuff. So I had a great time talking about age and death. That's what it's all about. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be back on Monday as per normal, back for my sort of science fiction stream, where we sort of talk about stuff. About science fiction generally related. We just have a kind of general chin wag mostly. It's under the just sort of chatting tag, and we just sort of talk about science fiction in general terms, which is quite fun. It's more of the same sort of taking the mickey out of things, really. Back Thursday's Elite Dangerous, of course. Well, I need to really get my my iron ass in gear and get out to the Crab Nebula. So I'm going to have to try and fly out there. I think tomorrow. I think that'd be good. And then obviously back again next Saturday with this. So we'll carry on with Frontier Elite 2 and see where we can get. See, we want a new ship. That's basically what we're after next week. Take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic weekend. I will see you soon. Look after yourselves. Be good. And round commanders. See you soon, my friends. Bye bye now.